This episode is brought to you by Arise Fight Co. This is for risk takers, the fighters, the ones who get knocked down but rise anyway. At Arise Fight Co., we don't back down, we get up. Visit Arise Fight Co. and become a member of their No Rounds Off Fighting Club and shop their clothing line by visiting www.arisefight.co. Use code TINFOIL at checkout for 10% off your entire order. Again, that's www.arisefight.co. This episode is brought to you by goldenroadcrafts.com. If you're into quality tech but don't want to pay crazy prices, check them out. They've got solid deals on electronics, phones, earbuds, PC parts, gaming supplies, all that good stuff, without the markup. Again, visit goldenroadcrafts.com. Imagine waking up one morning to the headline, America Under Attack. Explosions in public spaces. Passenger planes hijacked. Refugee boats sunk at sea. The evidence points clearly to a hostile foreign power. The nation rallies, the government acts, and within weeks, troops are marching into war. But what if none of it was real? What if the terror was staged? Not by enemies abroad, but by leaders here at home. Plans drawn up in polished conference rooms, signed and penned by the highest ranking officers in the U.S. military. This isn't fiction. In 1962, deep in the shadow of the Cold War, a top-secret plan called Operation Northwoods was drafted. A blueprint for false flag terror attacks on American soil, designed to trick the public into supporting a war with Cuba. I'm Logan.
And I am Ben.
This is Tinfoil Talk.
I think we have some explaining to do.
Yeah, we do. I think it's more me this time than it is you.
I think you're right. I mean, it's not really you, but...
Well, yeah, but...
So let's hear it.
Okay, so Jackie was out of the country for the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a death in her family. She went to the Philippines for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So she was there. I wasn't really able to make time to record. We still don't have a backlog of episodes for events like that. That's going to be something we try to do moving forward, as I understand.
Yeah, I'm down. I mean, I'd like to have a few, just kind of on the back burner in case life gets in.
For sure. Which, I mean, that we're going to have another long hiatus at some point.
Yep.
More than likely.
Yep. Got a small human being coming my way, so we'll be responsible for that. And I don't foresee many opportunities to crank these out the way we were.
Yeah.
However, that's okay.
Yeah. We'll stack some up, and I mean we'll still at one point we may get away from doing the small talks. We may just do the main episodes.
It has been tossed around, but for now we will keep up with them.
For sure.
Keep pumping them out.
I like doing the small talks. I think they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. They're a lot less serious, and then I think a lot less time-consuming, both in the research part and in doing them. Mm-hmm. Like, whenever we're here recording. So, cool. Life got in the way, and that's all right.
Yeah, it happens. Which, I mean, we could have made time, but I feel like things just kept popping up, and it just wasn't worth forcing it. Yeah. I'd rather do it right than come here for an hour and rush to record something.
Yeah, I mean, if we just throw together something super quick and it's not worth recording, then there will be. The beer for tonight.
Just
there's
right
no
there.
segue. I'm super pumped for it.
Okay.
They're really cold, so I want us to get to drinking them.
Let's do it.
This is via recommendation from good friend of ours, Jacob. Gonna slide it down to you. Victoria.
That's gonna sound great.
Yeah, that's gonna sound horrifying. We've got Victoria. They are some sort of, I think, Modelo variant.
Okay. Made in Mexico.
Made in Mexico. It looks good. It honestly smells just like a Modelo would. I am hoping it tastes like a Modelo does because I love Modelo.
That is very good. What's our alcohol? Not seeing that.
4%.
4%? Okay.
Yeah, so your typical light beer percentage, I guess.
Brewed and bottled by Cerveceria Modelo, Nava,
In Nava,
Mexico.
Yeah.
Imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. How does that work?
Well, I mean, they're brewed and bottled in Mexico, and then they are imported to Chicago and then distributed from there.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Pregnant women shouldn't drink this, so it says right here.
Oh, let me go let my wife know. She just cracked one open.
Yeah.
That was a joke. I'm going to go for it.
Okay. Okay.
Delicious.
All right.
Delicious. I absolutely love Mexican beer.
It's pretty good.
It is, I mean, it's your typical Modelo or Corona, whatever, like your usual light Mexican beer, and it's wonderful.
A lot of flavor.
Yeah.
Very crisp.
If you've ever been to Mexico, I'm not sure if you have, but the little beers you can buy from the little carts just kind of out in the streets of some cities, that's what they taste like. And they're usually either unlabeled or they have a label that I've never seen before, and they're always delicious. Yeah.
Interesting. I have been to Mexico. I went to Cozumel. However, I was like 9, and I got in trouble. I went on a cruise. I got in trouble with the head of security on the cruise ship. Yeah.
What happened there?
So I was swimming with my cousin, who's also, I think he might be 9, maybe 8. We were swimming.
Right.
My sister was there. She was our chaperone. She's supposed to watch us. I got out of the pool, and you don't want to walk around in wet clothes.
Of course not, yeah.
So I went and changed. I didn't tell anybody I was going to change. That's where problems arose.
I feel like a 9-year-old should probably let an adult know where they're going in a foreign country.
Yep.
Yeah.
So got back to the room. The cleaning lady was there cleaning the room, or cleaning a room near our room. I just asked, like, hey, can you let me in? I want to go change clothes. And then I came back to the pool after I had changed. My parents were running around frantically. Security guards were everywhere looking for me. I had to talk to the captain about how dangerous that is.
Of the boat?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble.
I mean, there's only so many places you can go, right?
The fear was that I'd fallen overboard.
Oh, okay. I did not consider that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
Ooh, yeah, you know what? I get that fear, actually.
Yeah.
Child goes missing, can't find them.
Oh, yeah, now as an adult with a child of my own, I completely understand.
Yeah.
In the moment, I didn't want to walk around in wet clothes.
It was innocent to you. You're like, I'm just going to go change clothes, no big deal.
I'm an adult.
Yeah, you're like, I'm grown. I'm a grown-ass man.
You got in trouble on a Carnival cruise ship. Cozumel sucked.
Did it?
Sucked. Granted, we were at a port. It was very touristy.
Mm-hmm.
So
most of your big, like, if you go to Cabo or Cancun or Cozumel, like any of those places, like, they're going to be pretty touristy.
What? Fun's dirty.
Huh?
A lot of street vendors.
A lot of street vendors selling you, like, they're good at it too, because they sell clothes that they know tourists are going to want to buy.
I bought a mariachi hat.
Did you? Like a sombrero thing?
Sombrero, like the big, like,
very
studded
nice.
out. Yeah.
We went to a public beach a little bit outside of Cancun when we went a few years ago, and there was a guy there, because on the like private beaches where the resorts are, the people can't like sell stuff on the beach, but if you go to the public beaches, there's guys walking up and down selling like alcoholic drinks out of these coolers, selling like straw hats, and I bought a straw hat.
You still have it?
I do. It's in our storage unit, and I need to get it out.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like a cowboy hat type deal.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hell yeah. Good beer. Good, good stories about Mexico there.
Yeah. We love Mexico. I love Mexicans.
Okay. Let's talk about Cuba, I guess.
Do you like Cubans?
Cubans?
Yeah.
I don't think I've met a Cuban.
Cigars.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I thought you meant like a Cuban
Oh, sorry.
person.
Yeah, I guess I segued straight from, like,
yeah,
I meant Cuban. Like, you like smoke
I don't
Cuban.
think I've had like a genuine Cuban cigar. Maybe I have. I don't know enough about cigars to know if I've had a Cuban.
That's fair. Okay, we can talk about Cuba now.
All right, Cuba. In 1959, Cuba became the very first communist nation in the Western Hemisphere. And with the island sitting just 90 miles south of Florida, it didn't take long for tensions in the United States to reach a boiling point. Fidel Castro's open alliance with the Soviet Union only made matters worse, planting a communist foothold right in America's backyard. The danger wasn't theoretical. If war with Moscow ever went nuclear, Cuba could serve as a launch pad for Soviet missiles aimed straight at American cities. Inside Washington, that thought kept men awake at night. To both President John F. Kennedy and the CIA, one thing was becoming crystal clear. Castro had to be removed. Not just to prevent a showdown with the Soviets, but to keep communism from bleeding into the rest of Latin America.
You think there was... I think you mentioned it in the intro about fear-mongering, because I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about the Cold War and that era of time. Like, even like from late 50s all the way up to, mid-80s, just about? Like, not super up-to-date. Do you think there was a lot of fear-mongering going on? Like, was there actually genuinely, like, a possibility that communism leaked into, like, the rest of...
I mean, yes, because there are people that have very communistic mindsets in America today.
It's true.
So, I mean, yes, and to a degree, yes. I mean,
okay.
But was it really that dangerous?
Yeah.
Like, it's, to me, it's kind of a weak mindset to think that a different, challenging viewpoint would be enough to overthrow American democracy.
Well, I mean, that's key issue in most of the world today is you got differing viewpoints that are the reason that countries are in the shape they're in. So,
to answer your question, yes, but didn't really matter in my opinion.
Okay.
After Castro's revolution, thousands of Cuban exiles fled to Miami. To the CIA, these men looked like the perfect strike force to take their country back. Under President Eisenhower, the agency began training some 1,400 of them for a mission codenamed Brigade 2506. An invasion meant to topple Castro and roll back communism in the Americas. When Kennedy took office, the operation was already in motion. He never fully supported the idea of sending Brigade 2506 into Cuba, but he didn't stop it either. Meanwhile, CIA operatives were already on the ground inside Cuba, doing everything possible to destabilize Castro's regime before the first shot was ever fired. Some tactics they used were sabotage missions. They would blow up sugar refineries. Cuba relies pretty heavily on sugarcane trade.
Okay.
It's like their number one export.
Did not know that.
Yep.
Even to this day, is that still...
I would imagine.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would imagine so. These agents tried to build a anti-Castro resistance. There was already plenty of people in Cuba didn't love the way Castro was doing things. They really wanted to dig into that and build up a revolution from the inside. They would also do propaganda campaigns, radio broadcasts, and leaflet drops, spreading disinformation about Castro's government.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I have heard about that. They literally just fly a plane over and drop thousands of pamphlets.
They're doing that in like Ukraine and
Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing that right now.
And that's crazy because, I mean, that's just psychological warfare.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the Geneva Convention that has to be either outlawed or at least frowned upon, I would imagine. Or does no one give a shit about the Geneva Convention anymore?
I don't know that's in the Geneva Convention.
I would think so, though.
I mean, it's misinformation. You're not...
That's true.
You're not using mustard gas.
That's a good point. There's a lot of... Well, yeah, it's a good point.
I recently heard an audio clip that Korean soldiers would play, or Vietnamese Viet Cong would play for American soldiers. Mm-hmm. It was a Vietnamese lady speaking in English, saying like, "GI, your government has abandoned you. They sent you to die in this swamp while they get richer." Shit like that.
Oh my god, I've heard it from the opposite way too, where American soldiers like they would play in Vietnamese languages, like the different, like trying to scare them, literally just with speakers. Yeah, yeah. Like, that's crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
That is crazy stuff.
I'll try to find that clip and send it to you. It was very interesting.
That is interesting. I would like to hear, because I mean that would terrify me. Like, imagine you're in the jungle of Vietnam, and all of a sudden you hear a Vietnamese person just start speaking to you from nowhere, telling you that you've been left to die, and your government's just farming money off you.
You're like you're like an 18-year-old kid, never left the state of Nebraska or something. You're in the middle of the jungle in Vietnam.
And all you know is you've been told, hey, that's the enemy, go kill him.
Yeah. And now you're hearing some lady, your government has abandoned you, they sent you to the swamp to die. That's creepy,
That would terrify me.
Hell yeah.
I'm getting back on that chopper. I'm like, y'all take me home. Yeah. I miss Tennessee, dude. Get me out of here.
Anyways, the CIA hoped these efforts would spark an uprising the moment the exiles landed. But what they didn't realize was that Castro's intelligence network had already infiltrated many of their cells. His army knew the invasion was coming before Brigade 2506 even left Florida.
Has CIA written all over it.
Yeah. Well, the CIA, the Bay of Pigs, it's a very real thing. The CIA tried to overthrow Castro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But someone leaked the information.
I don't think they did.
You said they knew about it before they even left the shore.
Yeah, they did. And that was Castro's intelligence network that discovered it. You had CIA agents on the ground trying to recruit.
That's what I'm saying. But like, you look at who was that FBI agent who was tasked with finding the Russian mole, but he ended up being the Russian mole, Hansen.
I'm familiar with that. It's good small talk.
That would be a great main.
Maybe don't.
That would be a great main episode. That'd be a good main
okay.
episode. Okay, so we'll pin that.
Okay.
Anyway, my point would be, just playing devil's advocate, I feel like there were definitely some double agents happening, and more than likely this was a party of both sides, quote unquote, feeding information to both sides.
Do you remember the Black Ops campaign?
The original Black Ops?
Yeah.
Yeah, vaguely.
Like you're playing as Woods and Mason, and they get like taken by Castro's men.
Yeah.
That's like the whole time doing this section, that's what was in my mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, they may have known from a CIA agent it was happening, but I don't think the CIA like willingly.
No, not as an organization. Like, I just meant you've got a high-ranking officer somewhere.
Maybe a rogue agent.
Yeah, rogue agent, or somebody that was offered like $1 million or whatever by Castro's regime to come down and feed them all this information, and then they'll fly him back, get more information, and just back and forth.
Yeah, maybe. Remember, no, Bay of Pigs specifically is very interesting. That could be an episode in and of itself.
I agree.
On April 17, 1961, Brigade 2506 stormed ashore at the Bay of Pigs with U.S.-supplied ships, tanks, and aircraft. And from the very first moments, almost everything went wrong. To start, the first wave of B-26 bombers, meant to wipe out Castro's Air Force, only partially succeeded. Kennedy then denied a second strike. So there were supposed to be waves of this. Kennedy said no more. Keep in mind, Kennedy never wanted to send 2506. He wanted to solve things very diplomatically.
He was very anti-war, I think. And
I think you could say that, yeah.
I think it ended up, unfortunately, costing him his life, in my opinion.
Hold on to that thought.
Okay.
Hold on to that thought.
Okay.
The anti-Castro resistance never rose. Most Cubans actually stood with Castro. They didn't. I mean, it's more like, sure, like you may dislike Castro, but you know who Castro is. He's not an American puppet. Mm-hmm. So,
well, I mean, if you don't conform, like if you're not hearing outside noise, if all you hear is what Castro's telling you, it's the same as like the leader of North Korea. Mm-hmm. They don't have media there. The only media they have is like North Korean, like promoting their propaganda.
Very true.
So all you know is that, oh, I'm going to love whatever this person does. And so that's maybe the situation they're in here.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? We'll never know.
I know. This was, 65 years ago? So
yeah. Castro was loved. Like, that's a fact.
Yeah,
he loved Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
And the landing site itself was a nightmare. It was very swampy, trapped vehicles, and funneled the exiles into a kill zone where Castro's forces quickly surrounded them. So doomed from the start, didn't really have presidential backing. Kennedy didn't want to be there. He wanted to talk with Castro.
Yep. Which I don't think would have gotten very far, to be honest. Castro was a pretty ruthless guy. He might have been not as bad as he's been portrayed in like Western media, but he was still very ruthless, very brutal.
But I mean, all he really wanted was America to leave him alone.
That's true, but you got to think from the perspective of, because he was a Russian ally, right? Like, we were in the midst of like on the brink of war with Russia, and any of their allies had to be considered an enemy. Like there was no choice.
Yeah, I mean,
Which it's a horrible way to look at it, but I guess that's just the political game that's played.
we'll never know. I mean, it played
we'll never
out
know, yeah.
in the only way we actually are privy to.
Yeah.
So anything else that could have happened, we'll never know.
Yeah, and usually the victor is the one who writes the story, but I feel like nobody really won here, so we'll never get the true story.
The results were catastrophic. 114 exiles were killed, more than 1,100 were captured and imprisoned, and countless civilians were caught in the crossfire.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just terrible all the way around. In the aftermath, Castro emerged stronger than ever. Politically, he could now point to a clear U.S. attempt to overthrow him, and it drove him straight into the arms of the Soviets. So Bay of Pigs failed so fantastically, it strengthened the relationship between Castro and Russia.
Yeah, I mean, you think, who was it Gorbachev, that the leader of Russia at this time?
That was Reagan. It's 20 years later.
Who was leader of Russia in the 60s?
No clue.
I don't know either.
I don't think it was Gorbachev, though.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Because Gorbachev was on the Chernobyl miniseries.
It's true.
He was around but
usually those Russian leaders are around for a long time.
Could be.
Putin's been around for like 40 years.
Putin.
Putin.
Kennedy took public responsibility for the failure, but privately his faith in both the CIA and the U.S. military was shattered. And that humiliation at the Bay of Pigs didn't just end there. It set the stage for the most dangerous moment of the Cold War, the Cuban Missile Crisis. All right, so that was really just getting us to Operation Northwoods.
Okay.
There's just some exposition to kind of set the table. And then on March 13th, 1962, the Pentagon's Cuba Task Force, so-called Cuba Project, asked the Joint Chiefs of Staff for, quote, exact pretexts that could justify an American invasion of Cuba. What came back would later be remembered as Operation Northwoods.
What do you mean? What is exact pretexts? I'm not...
So, the Pentagon... what this task force asked for was legally, what do we need to happen to where we can justify an outright invasion of Cuba? Not Cuban exiles, like the American military invading Cuba. What do we need to happen to make that legal? That's what they're asking for.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, why would you want a reason to... You know what I mean?
Don't worry. It's going to get a lot more disappointing.
That's great. That seems to be happening a lot with these like secret missions we talk about. At the end of it, usually I'm just kind of like, well, that's embarrassing for the United States.
This could alter your viewpoint on America to this day, how this is going to play out.
Okay. In a good way or a bad way?
Not in a good way.
Okay.
The memo made one thing clear. Unless there was a, quote, credible internal revolt within the next 9 to 10 months, end quote, in Cuba, the U.S. would need to manufacture a, quote, Cuban provocation to justify military action. Hold on. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm going to say that one more time just for clarity.
Okay.
Unless there was an internal revolt in Cuba within the year, the U.S. would need to manufacture Cuban provocation in order to invade.
So either it's going to happen naturally or we're going to cause it.
If they don't implode,
they're going to make it implode.
We're going to make it implode.
Wow.
Yep.
How wonderful.
Yep.
Thank goodness we don't do that anymore. Be a shame if we still did that today in this country.
And with that, the top brass of the United States military began drafting blueprints for staged violence, false flags designed to trick the American people into war. The declassified proposals are chilling. Keep in mind, before I name these off, I have these documents on my phone. This is declassified. Mm-hmm. You can get this on the National Archive. This isn't like speculatory.
Yep. This is real facts.
This was actual
from the
correspondence.
United States government itself.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So here are some of those pretexts we were talking about. Proposals included Guantanamo Bay incidents. Mind you, this is before Gitmo was what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like a military installation. It's not anything crazy. Radio rumors, friendly Cubans in uniform staging, quote, attacks, fake sabotage missions with saboteurs captured on cue, even staged riots. A new Remember the Maine, quote, end quote, blow up a U.S. ship in Guantanamo Bay and pin it on Cuba, complete with casualty list and mock rescue operations to spark outrage. A Cuban terror campaign on U.S. soil, sink boats full of Cuban refugees, plant bombs in American cities, arrest fake Cuban, quote, spies carrying pre-prepared incriminating documents, false flag invasions, attacking neighboring Caribbean nations under Cuban aircraft, using Cuban aircraft, leave behind Cuban weapons, plant Cuban radio messages, all designed to frame Castro.
Again, I want to make it abundantly clear this information is all from the United States government. This is not something we are pulling out of the hat.
If you don't believe any of this, pull up the nationalarchive.org, search Operation Northwoods. You can find every bit of this. I pulled this straight from there.
And you mentioned really disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I wouldn't even say this is disappointing. This is like really infuriating, to be honest. Like, I get they're your enemy, whatever, and that they were probably planning the same type of stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Really listen to this next one.
Okay.
Really breathe it in. Civilian airliner deception. Use a Cuban MiG to harass airliners, and one version, duplicate a commercial passenger plane, swap out the real passengers, and have the drone version shot down, and blame Cuba. They're talking about drone versions of passenger planes in 1962. This was a viable option.
I don't have much to say.
Okay, moving on.
I don't like.
Moving on.
I mean, there's a million directions I could go with that, but.
Moving on.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Simulated ambushes. American F-101 pilots would broadcast fake Mayday calls, claiming they were under attack by Cuban MiGs, then secretly land while dumping stage wreckage at sea. Those are just some of the options. There were more.
Yeah, that's not ideal from the old U.S. government. I'm not anti-American by any means.
No, not at all.
I'm pro-American.
Love America.
Love living here. This right here is not cool at all.
The drone passenger plane one really gets
now,
me.
Is that verbiage used verbatim from the time? Like, because the word drone could have meant something different back then.
I mean,
like before we were used to the word drone. Like when I would think of the word drone, I think of like the noise a plane makes, right? Like it makes a droning sound.
Given this context, I think we can read it for what it is.
You're probably right.
Swap out passenger
Yeah.
plane for a drone passenger plane.
And then, I mean, it makes you wonder, like, you always see these planes going down on the news. You see boats sinking, blowing up. You see all this stuff. Like, what are they? If they were capable of this 60 years ago, what in the world are they capable of?
That's what I was about to say. If the CIA and the American military was capable of putting a passenger airliner and on basically autopilot and have it completely empty in 1962,
we're going to get ourselves put on a damn list for this.
I'm not saying anything outside of
this is just factual
The technology was there in 1962.
Yeah. And then, like, blow up a United States ship in Guantanamo Bay.
Did you see the part about planting bombs in American cities?
Yeah.
They admitted to that. You can read nationalarchive.org. You can find every bit of what I just said on there. I'll show you the documents when we're done.
I mean, they've done it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they'll never be proved, but
I mean, this proves that they're capable of it.
Well, we know they're capable of it. It's one of those things where it's like, it's so obvious they're capable of it, you almost don't even want to talk about it.
But for me, like,
seeing it real.
It's very eerie.
Yeah. Knowing that they've openly admitted to being capable of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1962.
Yeah. 60 years ago.
Anyways, the Joint Chiefs wanted to layer these events into a single integrated, quote, integrated time phase plan. A rolling crisis meant to show Cuba as reckless and dangerous while keeping the Soviet Union on the sidelines. The final package was passed to Defense Secretary Robert McNamara. All it needed was his approval. So they wanted, like, everything was going to be used. They wanted to use everything. Blame it all on Cuba. They wanted to make Cuba seem so out of control. The Soviets didn't want to intervene because that would mean outright war with America.
Well, it's also like, oh, look, in the eyes of Russia. I think the U.S. was probably hoping that Russia would look at Cuba and be like, oh, goodness, they're about to get their shit kicked in.
Yeah.
Like, we'll send you money or whatever, but we're not helping out. I mean, because that would be all-out war.
At this point, the Korean War's already happened. So
they
saw, China, major communist power at the time, they saw, okay, the U.S. tried to intervene there with China's project in Korea. Didn't work out for the Americans then, but that's right there next to China. Mm-hmm. If you're Russia, you're trying to do that same thing on America's front porch. Mm-hmm. So that was the plan. They wanted Cuba to seem so out of line. Russia wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah, even though it's an ally, like you can't. Yeah. It's like the crazy. Yeah, I get it.
But timing killed the plan. Through the spring of 1962, no, quote, provocations were staged. By the fall, Pentagon leadership was shaken up, and in October, the world lurched into the Cuban Missile Crisis. Operation Northwoods stalled, then disappeared into classified vaults. So this never made it past Robert McNamara. Kennedy never even saw this from what I read. Robert McNamara pretty much said this is ludicrous. Like, he asked for it, yes, but this is the way I'm interpreting it. I don't know exactly what his reasoning was. Maybe, what I just said actually happened. The Pentagon got shook up, Cuban Missile Crisis, you're more worried about that than you are false flag attacks. But from what I gathered, he thought this was insane. Didn't even give it to Kennedy.
Well, it's probably one of those things where it's like, look, if we go through with any of this and it ever gets out or gets, like, if anybody ever finds out that, like, let's say they go with any one of these, blowing up a U.S. ship, putting bombs in U.S. cities, and it somehow gets leaked. Because say now that we're talking about these things, like, who's to say that they didn't go through with one of the other ones and they just didn't release it to this list?
No. Okay.
Whatever.
All that's going to be good.
Okay.
Anyways.
I'll pick back up where I left off then.
Okay.
Who's to say there wasn't some event that the U.S. government did carry out at some point in time between now and then that they left off this list intentionally? That way they're like, oh, hey, look at what we could have done, but we didn't because we're not that kind of person. You know what I'm saying? Or we're not that kind of, like, organization.
I feel like if you're putting it down in black and white that you are willing to plant bombs in American cities to justify an invasion of a foreign country, what else are you okay with leaving out?
That's my point. Like, they're putting this on paper to show you, hey, look at how big and bad we could be. We're just letting you know we're not that. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to prove to you that, hey, if we wanted to, we could do whatever we want, but we're not doing it. While behind the scenes, they're actually doing it. It's like classic manipulation strategy.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I don't believe that simply because at the time, more than likely everyone who was involved with this is now dead.
Yeah, for sure.
At the time, this was Deep Six, covert. Handful of people knew this conversation was happening.
Not even the president of the United States knew.
Exactly.
Like, it is a list so short that those people probably aren't even known outside of Robert McNamara anymore. He's probably the only person that took it to his grave and then ended up spilling the beans at some point.
So for that reason, I don't think that's the case because, you're basically, it's probably 2 or 3 people communicating back and forth. Mm-hmm. You may as well lay down all your cards.
Yeah.
So, but again, I don't know. I wasn't there. Could have been the case. In the end, didn't happen. It needed to be timely. They said that. If it doesn't happen within a year, whatever. Bigger fish.
Yeah.
Kennedy never knew. Mind you, Kennedy was also pissed with the CIA and the military after Bay of Pigs. He took the blame for Bay of Pigs because responsible thing to do. You're the president.
Mm-hmm.
Your administration was over that.
Yeah.
That's on you.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, very upset with the CIA and the military. He basically wanted them to sit on the sideline and let me handle this.
I mean, yeah, and at that point, it's like, you're the president of the United States. If people underneath you are doing things, like, out from under you, or, like, without... I mean, especially invading another country, I feel like if you don't have your hand in that, or you don't know that's coming, something is not right underneath you, and you're not doing something right. I don't know what kind of president Kennedy was, to be honest. That was way before.
True.
And he wasn't president long, but yeah, something had to be afoot.
Yeah. For decades, Northwoods was forgotten until the early 2000s when declassified documents revealed just how far the U.S. military was willing to go to start a war. Officially, President Kennedy was never briefed on Operation Northwoods. Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara rejected it outright, so there was no need for it to go any further, which we just touched on.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. If it's not going to make it to the floor, there's no sense in the president hearing about it.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not going to make it past the Secretary of Defense, there's no reason for the president to even give it any thought. Anyways, but inside the White House, the cracks were already showing. After the Bay of Pigs disaster, JFK made it clear he no longer trusted the CIA. He felt they had boxed him in to reckless plans, then left him to take the public blame when those schemes collapsed. From that point on, Kennedy began pulling back, no longer giving the CIA and the Pentagon free rein. And it's almost certain that if Northwoods had landed on his desk, he would have shot it down instantly.
I mean, yeah, of course. Like,
if he wasn't on board with Bay of Pigs...
No. You're not on board with invading what you call a communist country.
And you weren't even officially invading them. Those were Cuban loyalists that were invading.
Certainly not going to be on board with putting your own citizens at risk by putting a bomb in a city or sinking a naval... Like, whatever you're going to do, JFK would have been like... Guys, what in the world are we doing?
I think that's why McNamara shot it down, because he knew JFK would do the same thing.
Yeah.
No point in going beyond that.
No, for sure.
The mistrust only grew. During the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1962, the CIA was essentially sidelined. Limited mostly to supplying aerial reconnaissance photos, Kennedy chose diplomacy, negotiating directly with Khrushchev, which... I guess that's who was in charge of the Soviet Union at the time, before Gorbachev.
Okay.
While many in his military and intelligence circles were pushing for airstrikes and invasion. So again, military and the CIA is really wanting to go and just invade Cuba when there are nukes 90 miles south of Florida.
And what do you think, like, the goal was? Like, they want to go invade Cuba so bad. Like, sure, I get it. You want to eliminate somebody who you think is a threat, but like at the risk of all-out nuclear war, like global thermonuclear war, what do you think? Like, what's the end game there?
They were that scared of communism. I think that's all it was.
And that's interesting to me. I don't know. I don't really have a rebuttal for that. If you're that afraid of communism, then like, what do you even say to that?
I mean, it's like that today. If you're a conservative, you don't even give liberals, like, the time of day. If you're liberal, you don't even give conservatives the time of day.
It's true.
Like, you're that scared of the other side, you won't even hear the argument.
That's true, but, like, you're talking intra-party. Like, which I know we're a bipartisan, right? Like, in this country, there's left, middle, right, I guess. Most people identify somewhere on that. But if you have somebody comes in and is like, oh, no, I don't like capitalism. I want to be a communist. Do you think that would unite, like, a left and a right side person? Or do you think that communists would, like, lean towards one of the left or right people?
I think both sides are so disillusioned, they would see communism as a extreme version of whichever side they're not on.
I think you're probably right. I think common sense has been lost here recently.
Yes.
And by recently, I don't mean...
It appears common sense was lost somewhere before 1962.
I was going to say, and when I say recently, I don't mean like last week. I mean like over the last few decades, it's been
Yeah.
It's kind of flown out the window a little bit. And there's been a whole lot of blind faith put into people who maybe shouldn't be
let's move right along.
Trusted.
Because I know where that's going.
Well, and we obviously don't usually dabble in politics. I don't ever plan on it on this show.
It's going to be hard not to with this episode.
It is, especially talking about something that is revolving around politics.
Yeah.
You could say this is where the shit hit the fan. You could say the shit was already on the fan. I don't think there's a fan anymore here.
Somebody's just shitting.
I think people are just shitting. Yeah, there's just shit everywhere in America now. There's just shit.
Yeah. I don't want this to come off as like we're leaning one way or the other. I don't care, like in any way. It doesn't matter.
I consider myself more of like a third-party viewer.
Yeah.
In a sense, like I don't really subscribe to left or right. I think it's all a bit silly.
I think people should put their time into just being a good person.
Yeah, I think people need to find other things to do.
Yeah.
So I think if you take away, like if you would just turn the news off, or get off your phone for a little bit, get off social media,
for a little bit.
Yeah, like maybe find a hobby. Like I've and I don't mean that like in a degrading way. I mean just if you would go find something else to do to occupy your mind, you wouldn't be.
So you're not just so worried about what did this person say or what did that person say.
You're like, oh my goodness, what did so and so do today, or what happened? Blah blah. Like,
I mean, and most people have a family. They have friends.
Yeah.
They have a dog or a pet.
Yeah. Pick up a guitar. Yeah. Plant a garden. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know, do something.
Video games are fun.
Video games are great. I was playing NCAA when you got here. Yeah. It's a great game.
We are way off course.
We have went about as far off course as we could have went.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, bottom line, Kennedy, again, as we've already alluded to, he wanted diplomacy. The CIA and the military wanted war, with nuclear war on the line. Whatever. That's neither
really,
here nor there.
It's really scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
By 1963, Vietnam became the next point of friction. And I feel I need to reiterate, like, Northwoods, that's pretty much all Northwoods was. It was pretty eerie line of correspondence. So we're beyond that. This is pretty much just going to focus on Kennedy and I guess the friction thereafter in Northwoods. 1963, Vietnam was starting to ramp up. Kennedy grew increasingly skeptical of the intelligence he was receiving, opposing the CIA's push for deeper involvement. He began planning a drawdown of U.S. forces starting in 1964. Rather than full-scale escalation.
This Kennedy guy seems like a pretty cool guy. Hope nothing bad happens to him here in a minute.
Well. Anyways, starting in 1964, as I just said, he wanted to scale down rather than amp things up. Publicly, he even spoke of wanting to quote. This is a direct quote from JFK. Early in 1963.
Okay.
He wanted to, quote, splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it into the winds.
That may not be a good thing to say. I don't care who, like, you can think you're as untouchable as possible, but I'll let you keep reading before I speak my mind, actually.
After he said that, on November 22nd, 1963, just months after chastising the agency and signaling his desire to pull America back from war in Vietnam, Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas by Lee Harvey Oswald. The official story says Oswald acted alone. The end.
All right, thanks for tuning in. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, the Kennedy assassination is a whole nother beast in itself.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that.
And we can save that for another day.
Yep.
That can be an episode, maybe. I'm not sure.
That's the official story. Lee Harvey Oswald assassinated Kennedy. I haven't done much research into what his reasoning was. I know his background it's fuzzy, to say the least.
Yeah. Most assassins' backgrounds are pretty fuzzy.
Yeah, that's fair. But we'll save all that for something else. I did find that very interesting. Months after he publicly said the CIA was pretty much worthless, he's assassinated.
He gets killed, yeah.
I'm not insinuating one way or the other.
Yeah. Is it a coincidence? Maybe.
Yeah.
Is it something else? maybe also. I
I think Kennedy pissed a lot of people off.
mm-hmm. I think he did too, and which is interesting to me too, because like if you advocate, which obviously we don't have the whole story here. Like I don't know what kind of president John Kennedy was, but from what I'm reading from your notes and from what I'm inferring about the decisions he wanted to make, it seemed like he wanted to focus on America, like American citizens. He wants to pull citizens out of Cuba. He does not want to go to Vietnam. Like he wants to bring, but maybe not necessarily peace, but he's like more focused on American citizens than anything. And he's anti-CIA, which is really weird for a sitting president to be against a U.S. organization, like a governmental agency, rather.
Yeah, I mean, we said there were multiple instances where the CIA introduced a plan, sloppy execution ensued, and then Kennedy publicly had to take the blame because he's the president of the United States.
And I get that. I mean, that would be frustrating too if you just keep getting shafted by this. I mean, you think about, say you're a manager at a store and this employee just keeps getting you in trouble, like over and over. Eventually, you're like,
stop trusting him.
You're like, not only are you gonna stop trusting him, you're like I'm gonna fire you at some point. And I know that's not a great comparison, but just to relate it to us, I guess, because we can't relate to the weight of the U.S. government. Like that'll never be in my arsenal. But
I mean, eventually they're gonna I think they already. You can go to the National Archive and look up the Kennedy files. There's quietly, of course, it's not a big show, but quietly they have declassified a ton of Kennedy documents over the last few weeks.
So we'll just speculate for a minute. I'm not going to give my thoughts. If, let's say, somehow, some way, Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone, do you think that information would ever be publicly, like, displayed from the government? Like, do you think that any sitting president would ever come out and be like, hey, guys, actually, that whole thing was a cover-up. Like, Kennedy was assassinated by the CIA or by the FBI or by whatever.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, not unless the CIA dissolves at some point. Because you cannot come out and say a government agency assassinated a president.
That's true.
You can never say that, because then you lose faith in the entire government. Even today, even 60 years later.
Do you think so?
Yes, I do.
Do you think...
Well, okay, no, hold on.
I was going to ask a follow-up question. Do you think there's a world where the faith is so blind that no matter what happens or what is said, the people are still going to follow that administration?
Absolutely. Yes. I do think that.
I think that as well.
We're getting so political.
I mean, it's inevitable, and I think...
I don't care. You sit on whichever side you want to sit on. It does not bother me in the slightest.
Yeah, as long as we can have an educated conversation.
Sure.
If we have differing viewpoints, that's fine.
Let's talk.
I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah.
I love to hear different perspectives, and I love to debate it too. Like as long as it's like educational. I'm not debating just for the sake of being in an argument. I don't want to argue with you.
Someone say you're a master debater.
Can you say it again for me?
You're a master debater.
I don't do that.
You're pretty good at debating.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Who says that? I dabble.
You dabble?
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't quite
I'd say you're a pretty good debater. I don't know if I'd say you're a master debater.
Yeah. Well, that's you haven't mentioned my glasses. I got glasses.
I was gonna do that off cam.
Okay.
They fit you almost to a point to where I didn't even notice at first. Like when you first walked in, it just looks kind of natural. What do they call it? What's like the
prescription?
Yeah.
So I have a lazy eye on my right eye. It never. Wow. Okay. It never.
I'm just kidding.
you can't tell.
No,
but my brain never made the connection, so it never developed. Okay. The eye is perfectly healthy, but the neurological link isn't there.
Okay.
My left eye, I had perfect vision the last time I got tested, which granted that was, I shit you not, like 15 years ago. Last time I got my eyes examined. Perfect vision, slightly better than normal. But astigmatism is hereditary.
I've got a pretty bad astigmatism. Is that where like lights will beam off?
Not necessarily.
What is that?
Like which preface this by saying, ever since I've had these glasses, about 2 weeks now, when I take them off, things are 10 times more blurry than they ever have been before. Mm-hmm. So, like, astigmatism, I can see everything. The detail, I can't read your diploma, can't read the bottle, can barely read this bottle. Everything is blurry.
So is it like the dependency is making it worse once you take them off?
I think so. Yes, because my brain is now used to this resolution.
Yeah. So when you go back, your brain is having to readjust. Yep. Okay. I think I've always had like average vision, I guess, good vision, whatever you want to say. I've never been tested, but I've never had like vision problems either.
I tried to join the Marines out of high school, and the recruiter told me they would kick me out because of this eye. But
really?
They wouldn't let me go in because of this eye. I mean, they not a big need for Marines in 2017.
Yeah, that's true. Very interesting. Well, in terms of Operation Northwoods, I wish I could say I was surprised that this hit the floor. However, I'm not. And I don't mean to say that like to single out the U.S. government. I wouldn't be surprised if any government did this, other than like maybe, I don't know, like one of the Scandinavian countries or like Canada. You know, one of the like historically peaceful countries that have never had any like.
I wouldn't really say Canada's historically peaceful.
Maybe not of late. I mean, like historically in terms of last few hundred years.
They've done things that would make the Trail of Tears look like a cakewalk.
Okay, well, I'm not privy to that information. So maybe we'll say like, I don't know, Denmark. Like if you told me that the Denmark government did this, I'd be like, dude, you're lying.
I don't know. But I mean, officially, you can hypothesize whatever you want to. Officially, the United States government has never been involved with anything that happened or was laid out on Operation Northwoods. They made it clear they were capable of that in 1962. Officially, there isn't a document out there that I've seen that supports the idea that they actually followed through on any of that. It would be reckless for us to sit here and insinuate that that's what they did.
And we could do that all night long. I mean, you could go down the list of the infinite amount of terrorist attacks, or even on domestic and foreign territory. Like you can speculate all day long, but unless they just outright admit it, like there's not ever going to be.
Do I believe that they would?
Yeah,
yes,
probably. I mean, and I
believe that. I can't prove it.
Yeah, and I believe any country would. And I believe most countries probably have. Like most countries do shady shit to put themselves at an advantage. Like that, it's part of war. Yeah. Like when it comes down to life or death, you do what you have to do to remain dominant. And if that means a few American lives or Cuban lives or whatever has to go, then has to go.
You ever seen Shooter with Mark Wahlberg?
I have, yep.
Not a great movie, but it's a pretty good kind of message interwoven in there.
Yeah. The show, I don't remember what the show was called. What was the show called? It was a great show. It was the same thing. It was Bob Lee Swagger, about him. I don't think it was. Wait, Shooter was. It was about the guy who he planned the assassination thing, and then the government framed him for it, right?
They asked for his help under false pretenses,
and then they framed him. Yeah. Okay. So that was what the show was about too. I don't remember what the show was called, but it was about this like retired Marine sniper, and then some member of government came to see him out in his cabin in the middle of nowhere. Tells him, "Hey, if you were to assassinate the president at this time, this place, with this weapon, how would you do it?" Yeah. And then he planned it out for him, and then they tried to pin it on him.
I mean, that's exactly how the movie went. Yeah. Not a big Marky Mark guy.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's kind of like The Rock for me. He plays the same guy in every movie.
When I think of
plays it well, like Mark, if you're listening, you play it well.
He's not listening.
But just to be safe.
He does it well. He plays a good comedy character too.
Yeah,
I think whenever he was in, what was that cop movie he did with Will Smith? With Will Ferrell.
The Other Guys.
Yeah, that was funny as hell. Yeah, like the desk pop and all that.
The Ted movies, those were funny.
Those were funny too. Those got a lot of hate, man. Those were really funny.
I liked those.
They were hilarious.
Big Family Guy though. Big Family Guy.
Okay, yeah, I thought that's what you meant. Yeah. Is he? What does that have to do with Mark Wahlberg?
Seth MacFarlane. He voices Ted.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
I mean, it makes sense. And now that I'm hearing the bear's voice,
Sounds like Peter Griffin.
Yeah, I guess I never put two and two. Or I would associate it more with Brian, but
Yeah.
the dog and Family Guy sounds a lot.
I don't get that at all.
What?
Sounds a lot like Peter Griffin.
The bear in Ted and the dog in Family Guy sound exactly the same.
No, they don't.
We'll settle this off camera or off air.
Ted has a Boston accent, so
Okay, well,
Brian doesn't.
whatever.
Anyways,
It's an okay
beer. Jacob reminded us while we were recording.
Yes,
We didn't rate the beer.
we didn't rate it. This is a historic blunder.
This is okay. Look, we took 2 weeks off.
We did.
This is the first time I've looked at this outline in 2 weeks. That's why the intro took 16 takes.
Yeah, we had to redo the intro a lot. What did you kept saying? Let me scroll back up. Hold on. It was one word you kept getting. It was experiment. Evidence. You kept saying evidoint. It was evidence points. You kept saying evidoint.
Kept blending those together. But the beer, Victoria.
It's good.
It is really good.
This is gonna get a high score for me because I'm a big time Mexican beer lover. I absolutely adore it. I'm gonna go 8.8.
8.8. Okay.
Yeah, this is fantastic beer to me. I will drink the rest of these after you leave.
I'm on another one before I leave. Did you get a 6-pack?
I did. I've got one more for both of us in the fridge.
All right, cool. I really like Modelo, and this does put me in mind of Modelo. I give Modelo more points. I think it has more of a punch to it. That being said, I'm still going to go 8.2.
Yeah, this is the highest rating I've given for a beer so far.
Is it?
Yeah.
I did this after the last time we recorded the Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Mm-hmm.
I gave that a 9.
Wow.
Those are fantastic.
We didn't.
No, I bought those.
Okay, I was saying we didn't do that. Okay.
I saw them at Walmart.
Okay.
And I was like, I like Sam Adams. I like October. So.
Just around the corner.
They're having an Oktoberfest in town.
I say we should attend.
We absolutely should do a live show. Anyways.
Well, thanks for listening. Operation Northwoods, it's that typical, disappointed but not surprised type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect much from... let me put it this way. Haven't ever expected much from the government. Mm-hmm. And that's not really ever going to change. So,
tip of the iceberg. I'm sure there's way more shit we'll never hear about.
Right. Take us home, fella.
Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Tinfoil Talk. If you enjoy what you heard, make sure you follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen. Don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps more people find the show. You can keep up with us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for clips, teasers, and all the weird extras that don't make it to the episode. Until next time, grab a beer, put on your tinfoil. This has been Tinfoil Talk.
Love you, bye.